This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Welcome back to the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and thank you to Sphere Rocket VA for connecting us today with Jason. And Jason, thank you for joining the show.
Absolutely. It's an honor.
Yeah, well, let's get to know all about you. Okay, so tell us, what market are you in? How did you get there? How'd you wind up in real estate? Where are you from?
Sure. Yeah, I'm in the Seattle market. I actually live roughly 20 minutes from Seattle. So I work King County, which is in Seattle. And then I also work Snohomish County, which is where I grew up. I grew up in a little town called Mukilteo. Most people don't pronounce it correctly, but that's how you pronounce it. And yeah, been a Washingtonian my whole life. Went to school up at Western Washington, up in Bellingham, WW. It's not one of the top, Ivy League schools or whatever, but it's a party town. It was good times. So you want to know when I got into the business?
How'd you get into real estate? What got you to this point?
So before I was in the real estate business, I was actually in the beer and wine industry, which
cool.
it was super fun and, great people and fun times. But as eventually I knew that I needed to do something a little bit different, I wanted to make a little more money. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to, I had read the Rich Dad Poor Dad and started thinking Grow Rich and things like that. And I wanted to get a job that essentially paid some sort of residual income, right? So I actually I signed up to be a financial advisor. I got a job offer, right? Mm-hmm. And I looked at insurance, right? And a couple others, but just out of curiosity, reached out to a networking partner of mine who was in real estate. And she, after I got offered the job as a financial advisor, she said, "You know what? That's so funny that you are going to be a financial advisor because we're actually looking for an investor specialist on our real estate team."
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Because to be honest with you, it's kind of funny. I didn't really want to be a real estate agent because everybody and their mom is a real estate agent,
Yeah, truly.
And so I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I could do this investor specialist thing, And during the interview, I met with her partner and she was super sharp and she was 30 years old, already, was technically a millionaire, as far as her assets were concerned. And she told me, none of the financial advisors can give me the returns that I'm getting with my real estate properties. Mm-hmm. Right. And so having, read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I had gone to like a flip seminar. I never did anything. I didn't pay anything, but mm-hmm. I was like, you know what, this just feels better to me. Right. And so my whole first year I was on a team and I just was their go-to investor specialist. And pretty much all I did was analyze deals, and I learned how to analyze multifamily, how to look and analyze flip deals and purchase homes at auction. And this was in 2016. And, the deals, or at least how I was trained, very conservatively, I didn't do a whole lot of business, right? Mm-hmm. I probably broke even. I think I sold 7 deals and, with the team splits and the commissions, I was at Keller Williams for the first 3 years of my career.
Okay.
Maybe 3 or 4 years. And, anyways, my first year, I did about 7 transactions and it just, with all the training and the things that I signed up for. And, when I did my taxes at the end of the year, my expenses probably were about what it cost me or what my commissions were. So honestly, my first year, I almost gave up. I almost gave up on real estate, and I was looking for jobs at the last minute, and I was about to get a job, and I thought to myself, I go, you know what? I'm going to give this one more year. I'm going to give this one more shot, and I'm going to go all in for one more year.
Yeah.
And then so I did, and I joined a different team, and I did okay. You know, I probably did double the production or whatever that I did the first year, or a little bit more actually. And I think I did like 18 deals my second year. But again, with the team splits and everything, it was kind of like, you know, it was, I made okay money.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about like the third year, because, you know, the business gets better and better every year if you're working it. And about my third year, I was like, okay, cool. This is like, I'm making good money now. And then, so my third year, fourth year, fifth year, you know, it just keeps getting better and better. And I'm so glad that I stuck with it, because at this point I'm pretty much unemployable. You know what I mean? Being self-employed for so long, which I kind of was before I got into real estate. So it's been almost like, I mean, 10 years at least since I've been kind of doing my own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a cool story to hear. And you mentioned, you know, you started with, I think, Keller Williams, you said, and then you jumped to another team. So, you know, what brought you to EXP? Because making that switch from brokerage to brokerage is a tough one. So what drew you to our brokerage?
That's a great question. Some people that I knew really well had gone over to EXP, and you know, I took a look at the model, and I had been pitched EXP before, but it was never really enough. It wasn't earth shattering enough, or I didn't understand it. I should say I didn't understand the model well enough for it to make a switch. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody who jumps from job to job. I never have been, you know, even as I was working in my younger years, I stayed with places for a really long time.
Wow.
And yeah, so when they moved, it's because of the people that I knew that I actually sat down and took a look at it. And I spent a few months researching everything. You know, I had access to people's technology, so I have a I have an IT background.
Yeah.
I was an MIS major. And so like the technology was super important to me, because I'd always been trying to piecemeal the systems together, you know. Like when I was at Keller Williams, when I was at Century 21 briefly, it was always like they had their company systems, but I always had my own website over here, and like my own CRM, because I wasn't content with what they provided to you as their brokerage, right? There was always something that I didn't like about it, that I was over here trying to build my own better systems on the side. And when I looked at EXP's technology, I researched it, and I said, okay, this is something that I could go all in on, right? Like I don't have to go recreate something else. This technology is solid. I can plug into it and do everything that I want to do, you know, with this database, you know, with these systems. I don't need to pay for this over here. I mean, it really has saved me probably like $500 a month just in like random stuff. So, and I don't have a team, you know, I run pretty lean. I don't I don't buy Zillow leads or anything like that. And so that, and I really liked the opportunity for the stock options. Okay. So it was the technology, the stock options, and the people that I already knew that went over is what brought me over to EXP. So,
yeah. Okay. So the technology, you know, you liked that, the scalability, you know, you didn't have to reinvent the wheel over here, which is nice, because, you know, it's something I've heard about EXP is that they're just a little ahead of their game amongst the other brokerages. And anyway, so people have been drawn to that. They liked that, you know, they felt like they were more, I don't want to say revolutionary, but they were evolving quicker than other brokerages, and like you said, offered more tools to people who may be more particular about their website, and that's okay to be. And so, you know, to not have to build that yourself and for it to work the way you want it to, it really helps you to stay efficient in that realm and be happy with how your business is presented to your clients. And so, you liked that scalability, that technology, but what keeps you here? Like, we've got stock options, rev share.
Yeah.
Why weren't you leave EXP?
Well, after the more that you're involved in EXP and the longer you've been here, the more you really understand it and the synergies that's created, right? Like at Keller Williams, I really felt a great culture where everybody's there to help everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like the old school brokerage where they're trying to keep everything secret because what they're doing is working and they don't want to share their tricks and secrets. And like Keller Williams wasn't like that, right? But the way that the EXP model is, just because of the natural way that it's structured, the financial platform, like everybody's incentivized, financially incentivized. Not that they weren't at Keller Williams, but you were more financially incentivized, right, at EXP to just help everybody you win. It's not even just your people that are in your group. It's everybody. The synergy is phenomenal. Keeps me there, and naturally, right? Like there's a lot of agents that try to build their downline and things like that, and I have done it very passively. But even doing it very passively creates a pretty decent passive income stream, and it's pretty nice. Once you start to see, thousands of dollars monthly getting deposited into your bank account for, just sharing the opportunity with a couple of people. And it's all the stock that they award me. I'm an icon agent. I get my cap back in the form of stock. I mean, it's a no brainer, but it's unfortunate that people don't know it. Some of them are shut down to the idea because they think it's like an MLM or something. It's like, dude, we're doing what we already do. We're not selling lotions and potions here. We're selling real estate, right? And you're just being rewarded. They're giving all the upside back to the agents, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for somebody watching right now that is like skeptical like that, you know what I'm saying? Like they see the grass is greener on this side of the fence. What would you have to say to someone? Because I'm sure at some point you were probably in that chair as well.
Yeah. And that the whole like MLM, thing, stigma that it has, it's like, I guarantee you ask any one of those agents, have you ever invited any new licensee over to your brokerage? And 9 out of 10 times the answer is yeah, of course. Like that's how I got, where I'm at, right? Like I said, when I got into real estate, it was a friend. I went over to Keller Williams because she was at Keller Williams. It's no different. They just give us agents the upside, right?
Yeah.
Rather than paying a recruiter that Keller Williams paid, or, majority of the time, it's not even the recruiter that brings people over. So people will reach out to you, ask you about EXP. All you have to do is share your honest opinion, share your experience, right? Like for me, it was like, hey, I came over for the stock and the technology and the people that were already over there, and organically I'm getting, thousands of dollars a month in my bank account deposited. It organically grows and exponentially grows. So like, we're already doing what we already do. So it's definitely not a scam. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not anything crazy like that. It's just an awesome company to work for. And we're all owners of the company.
You're right. And it's a company that, really puts their realtors first, as well as like talk about employee retention. When you award your employees by giving them an investment into the company and makes them not want to leave. Nothing's forcing them to stay.
Yeah.
But, when you've got a little piece of the pie, it makes it a little more exciting to stay. You got interest in it. That stock option becomes a 401k to some. It becomes a cash down payment to others. Like whatever it is, could be used right now, could be used years from now. Not right now,
right.
But 3 years stock hold, blah, blah, blah. But currently.
Yeah. What other brokerage is offering you a 401k or ownership in the company, or, the ability to build passive income? I own investment properties, and I make more on my rev share than I do on my cash flow of my investment properties. And, that's zero liability. That's, zero headaches. That's zero, property management issues. Right. So it's like, I could go buy another house with, 20% down, or I could, share the opportunity with somebody and make about the same.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. And, taking those opportunities for what they are and running with them. And, it's not like you get over here and you just have to recruit. You can not recruit a single soul if you come over here, if you don't want to.
It wasn't the plan. It wasn't the plan for me.
But it's like a little flame. Really, it's like a fly trap, right? And it's bright and people are buzzing around it and they're like, ooh, is that going to sting me? Ooh, but it actually turns out really well for everyone. It's a fire that burns brighter. It's blazing trails, and it's a good place to be if you're into real estate.
100%. Yep.
So Jason, obviously you stay busy. You said you have rented properties, you got high production. So what do you do to take care of Jason? How do you make sure you avoid burnout mode and you've got a nice little work-life balance going on?
It's a great question. I think exercise, people say exercise releases stress or whatever. So I do that. I pursue more listings these days. Honestly, with the market being so crazy, as crazy as it's been, it's not that I don't work with buyers. Don't get me wrong. Like usually half my business is, but I definitely focus more on listings because that's my time leverage, right? So that work out. I pursue listings. I take a couple of vacations a year. And other than that, I think, I've just been so used to being self-employed for so long that I don't, it doesn't bother me, right? Like if you're so used to being 9 to 5 and having weekends off and things like that, I can imagine that it would be kind of like, I just need a break, but if you've just been so used to it for so long, cause it's not like every day, right? It could be, maybe I'm not doing a whole lot maybe I choose to go do something on a Friday morning, but I'm working Saturday night,
Right.
So,
but you got those boundaries set for yourself, but at the same time, you enjoy making your own schedule in a way, but also having to be available for clients, making a really big life decision with a lot of money and a lot of hard work that they've saved up and a lot of emotions. So a lot goes into that, but taking care of yourself first and knowing what recharges you. But like you said, you've been living this lifestyle for a while, so it's not a big culture shock, I guess you would.
I chose this life.
He chose this life. I like that.
I chose it. Yeah, I chose this life.
So, as an Icon Award winner, that's why you're on this show. You've got high production. Could you, in your own words, kind of explain what the Icon Award is, the benefits it brought to you, and, kind of production you had to do in your market to get there?
Yeah. So what an Icon Award, is or whatever, it's just, you've done 20 deals after you've capped, and you have the potential to get your full 16,000 back, which by the way, isn't that much. It's not as much as the other brokerages that I was with. So it's a better financial model in that regard, but you get rewarded stock for all that stuff. But it's just, the funny thing is, had I gone to EXP sooner, I would have hit Icon, because this is my first year at EXP and I hit Icon in my first year. Had I been there last year or the year before, I would have been Icon the last few years. Right. So,
and you had a lot of stock.
I would have had a lot of stock. Yes. The stock 2 years ago was a lot cheaper than it was today. And I wish I'd made the move sooner, but
that's what they all say.
Pretty much. Right. But regarding it just means that you treat this business like it's a job. I mean, there's no reason why any real estate agent, maybe not your first year, because your first year is always like any business, right? I don't care if it's a restaurant that you're opening or some new business, right? Like it takes a couple of years of commitment to really get the ball rolling. But if you've been in the business for 3 years and you treat it like a business, there's no reason why you shouldn't hit Icon. And in my marketplace, right, we're in a little higher price point, but it ends up being roughly around 30 deals, give or take a few. So that's kind of what it looks like. I think we cap usually on like 5 to 7 deals. So, my average price point in my location is about $1 million. So realistically, I mean, like, should take less than 30 for sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Especially for, the market you're in up there in Washington. And I think That's really impressive. It's sad to think that you missed out on a couple of years of iconing, but it's good to know you came over here and hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Didn't have to reinvent the wheel, just ran with it.
Right.
That's awesome. So, you said you iconed as a first-year EXP agent. And so for those that are watching right now, maybe they're a first-year real estate agent in general, and EXP is their first brokerage, or they're a experienced real estate agent, but this is their first year with EXP. What kind of goals should they have set out to reach the Icon Award? Is that obtainable for them within their first year?
Yeah, no, I know that it's obtainable because people do it, right? And you asked like, what would I recommend to somebody who's trying to hit Icon?
Yeah, just some advice to the newbies out there.
I would say make sure that you have coaching with the right people, make sure that you're practicing scripts aggressively and every day and practicing your listing presentation. Most agents don't do any of those things, they just kind of wing it. And right. I've been guilty of that as well. Right. And, I would pursue listings if you're trying to hit Icon, because a lot of those listings are buyers as well. A lot of people have a house to buy and sell. So, listings is going to leverage your time. So learn the, FSBO scripts, canceled and expired, circle prospecting, target people that own homes. And be consistent. Consistency is going to be the biggest thing. If you can consistently prospect for just 2 hours a day, and you know what to say, and you say it to enough people, and you say it the right things in the right way, then you should be setting appointments and getting deals. And the other thing that I would do is I would, try to build your investor database, right? That comes back to my first year experience. Like, thing about investors is they are always looking for deals, right? So if you build an investor database or a builder, if you work with a builder directly and you can find them the land, that could be a potential, plat of 6 future listings, as long as they're willing to list it back with you. Investors, typically it's 2 deals, you find them the deal and you resell them the deal if they're flipping. So, build your investor database, and all you got to do is find them the deal, right? If you have a deal, the buyer is there, right? So just make that your job and you should be fine.
That's smart. That's a good tactic to have with it. And, kind of going back to the Icon Award, part of it is feeding back into the culture of EXP and either, coaching, teaching, mentoring. So what path did you choose amongst those?
That's a great question. And I actually haven't taken my test for my managing broker's license, but the route that I'm pursuing is to be a mentor, right? Because I do bring on a lot of new agents, and they're connected with mentors. And it's a shame that I can't be their mentor. Right. I mean, I am their mentor, but I can't really benefit from it until I get my managing broker's license. So I just have to take the test, and I'm just been slacking on that. But that's the route I'm going. Sounds
like you've been busy in all other aspects, Jason. So don't get down on yourself.
Actually just had a baby. So I have a 6-month-old now. So
my gosh.
That's been the biggest. Yeah, that's been the toughest part, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure. 6-month-old, is it a girl or a boy?
It's a little baby girl.
Cute. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a really solid episode. We're about at 25 minutes. Is there anything else that you would like to touch on?
Not that I can think of, but I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me, especially with how busy you are and brand new. You got a quiet background for having a baby around. So
she was crying right before this started, but my aunt is watching her right now. So I'm grateful for that.
Shout out to the aunt. Jason, thank you so much. I'll plan on seeing you in Orlando or Vegas for one of the shareholders or EXP cons. So plan on me hunting you down. And if you feel like doing a spin-off episode, kind of talking about investing or your journey, how to go about mentoring, you let me know.
Sure.
We're a free podcast, so
awesome.
Use it.
I'd love it.
Great. Thank you, Jason. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, you too.
Bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.